30-minute reviews, Beware of Spoilers, and Exploring Hyperspace Lanes are all available ad-free. But if you want to support the show, you can go to bewareofspoilers.com and click the support button that's available on the Spotify website. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to Exploring Hyperspace Lanes. I am Adam.
And I'm Josie.
Have we talked about the fact that anyone who listens knows what time of day we record the podcast based on how I intro it?
No.
Because it always goes up at 12:05 on if we can, it goes up 12:05 on Wednesday. So
You should say hello, everybody, so that way, no matter what time they're listening.
It's a nice little time capsule of where we are. Besides the fact that we are 2.5 hours away from the premiere of Ahsoka. Because for whatever reason, this decision baffles me. By Lucasfilm, because they announced it like Friday that they were going to do it on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, instead of the usual for Disney Plus shows, which is Wednesday at midnight Western time. So for us on the important coast, it's 3 a.m. So they just and they put out this infographic. Like, here are all the dates of all the episodes, and then a week later they're like, "We're gonna do it on Tuesday, actually." And it's like, all right, well, you would have thought you would have done that before you put the infographic out, but yeah. So it's just dumb. But yeah, so Ahsoka starts in 2.5 hours. Are you going to watch it tonight, or are you going to watch it tomorrow?
I'll probably watch it tomorrow.
I'm going to watch it tonight because Beware of Spoilers, I tend to do. I don't know. Do you follow what I do on Beware of Spoilers?
No.
Okay, well, I was just say I'm not going to give you shit for that, but we both know that's a lie.
But the way that I said it demanded some shit.
So we both know that's a lie. I'm going to give you shit no matter what your answer was. You were going to get shit for it. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I do. What's it called? I do episode recaps.
Oh.
For TV shows. So like I do the Marvel shows, the DC shows in the event that they don't give it to me in advance. I do it weekly. But like Harley Quinn, I saw the entire season before the season started, so I couldn't do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they sent me the entire 4th season, so I've seen the entire season.
Oh my goodness. That's something I'm following.
Yeah, that was one. Like there's another show. I think I can say I don't think it's embargoed. Because you could have done features about it about a week ago, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna do that. It's an Amazon show that comes out early next month that I've already seen the first episode of the new season of, which we'll give it away if anyone cares. But because you know how easy it is to get advanced copies of things from companies that aren't Disney. If you email the PR person, they'll just give it to you.
Really?
Yeah. If you have a connection to a journalistic outlet or you have a podcast, something like that, if you ask nicely, they'll give it to you. Which is what I do. I email them like, hey, so I like the only one that Warner Bros. Has ever turned me down for was The Last of Us.
Oh, okay.
And that was my fault because I waited too long. But like everything else.
The Last of Us on?
What do you mean?
What's it on?
Max. Well, you can watch it on Max now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
because I don't think I've completed the season, but I liked it.
It is really good, and it was really funny that the finale was on the same night as the Academy Awards. I'm not going to spoil it for you because it spoils the finale of The Last of Us, but there was an interesting juxtaposition between what Pedro Pascal was doing on ABC at the Academy Awards and what Pedro Pascal was doing on HBO at the same time. But yeah, that was it's just a year of Pedro Pascal, man, because he had that and he had Mandalorian this year. He's having a good year.
He is having a good year. Apparently, he's a very nice guy too.
Yeah, and he had what's it called? he also was in that movie last year, the Nick Cage movie. That was not
Yeah,
terrible.
which I just watched that maybe a week or so ago.
The movie's pretty funny.
Is it funny?
Yeah.
I
You,
mean, yes, it is funny. I watched it. I'm not
I
feeling
thought
well today.
I thought that was
I'm
you angling to
sorry.
this. I thought that was you angling to disagree with me.
No, no angle, just totally forgot what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So I did
Um.
filler. I really liked that movie. It was funny. Um, they were Pedro Pascal super duper cute in it,
Mhm.
and love the story. Fucking love Nick Cage playing Nick Cage.
Yeah. Him
Iconic.
and then the CGI de-aged younger Nick Cage is just
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. I really, really liked it. I've been digging Nick Cage's stuff lately. Um,
Are you gonna watch his new movie coming out, The Retirement Plan?
what's his new movie?
They aged him up with
Oh,
like
you're breaking up.
makeup and prosthetics. Um, and what it is
What is it?
they aged him up with like makeup and prosthetics, and now he's an old guy who his granddaughter
No,
or his
what's the movie?
I think it's called The Retirement Plan.
Oh, okay.
And he's an ex-assassin who's got to rescue
I
his
remember.
what's it called? He's got to rescue his granddaughter, I think. I saw this trailer before Gran Turismo a few weeks ago. Um,
Oh, he looks cool in this.
the movie looks absolutely ridiculous.
Is he just Nick Cage playing Nick Cage but old
Yes,
now? Okay.
yes. He's not Nick Cage, but it's just him doing his shtick.
Okay. Um, what did he just do that I fucking loved? It
Renfield.
was Oh, I did like Renfield, but I really, really liked his movie where it's like the Five Nights at Freddy playoff thing, like
Oh,
a playoff of that.
Willy's Wonderland.
Yes, that was excellent. Are you looking forward to the Five Nights at Freddy movie? Did you see that PETA is in it?
I did see that he's in it. I'm not looking forward to that movie.
Why
Just
not?
I wasn't a Five Nights at Freddy's fan to begin with.
Oh,
And I think that a movie at this point is very late to the party.
it is kind of late, but I like it. I'm
Um,
excited for it. It's probably because Willy's Wonderland actually did pretty okay and people really liked it. So they were like,
well,
well, let's do the real thing.
I think the movie that really paved the way for this was not Willy's Wonderland. I think it was the Banana Splits horror movie.
Banana splits.
Yeah, the
Oh,
banana.
and what's that other one? The Pooh one, Pooh Bear.
No, that one was not. That one didn't do well at all. Blood and
I
Honey.
heard that it was scary.
It didn't. It like I think it was looking to do Terrifier money. Like you know that movie Terrifier with the clown.
Oh, Terrifier with the clown.
Yeah, like it's a very cheap movie, and the most famous
Oh
thing
yeah,
from it.
I've seen this. I've not seen the movie,
Yeah, that
but
like the
I've
most
seen the
famous
mask all over the place.
like that movie, the movie had a very small budget, and it's got a really fucked up effect where the clown like bisects a woman, but not like when you say someone gets bisected, usually it's like across the middle of the body, like like that.
No, up through the center.
Yeah, like up the entire like it's fucked up, and it looks
That's
really like
funny.
surprisingly good considering the budget.
See, I like those. See, I'd probably really like the movie if it's a gore movie. Um,
You might
but
like
I
Saw
can't
then,
get past. I do like Saw. I like
the new
Saw.
Saw.
Oh, I like the Saw movies more than they deserve. Um,
I've never seen any of them, and I have no plans to.
they're not scary.
No, I know. I am historically a colossal pussy, and I do not do horror movies in theaters. There's a reason why I have
It's
not
not
seen.
horror.
I have like I go to the movies. I dread seeing the trailer for The Nun 2 because it scared me twice, and I was like, "Fuck you!" Like
Who
the trailer for The Nun 2.
did it really?
Yeah, there's
That
two.
was not a question. That was a sound. Sorry.
There,
The who.
there,
That
there
was
are
a.
two. There are two great jump scares in that trailer, though. And the thing is, too, you know they're coming. Like there's no like it is clearly articulated. Something's gonna jump out at you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but both times and every time I see the trailer, it always gets me.
The Nun movies are not scary.
I never saw the first one. I've seen The Conjuring, and that's it for that. I've seen The Conjuring and The Conjuring too.
The
Um,
Conjuring was excellent.
The
And then it just
Conjuring's
went down from
fantastic.
there.
Oh
And
my
then
god,
the
The
Nun
Conjuring
movie,
is a
the
horror
Nun movie
classic.
didn't do well, but the Nun 2 is supposed to be better.
The Conjuring is kind of
Was
the
an
Mandalorian of horror movies in a weird way.
I think that The Conjuring was an instant classic.
It is, but I mean, like the franchise is
I
kind of the
wouldn't necessarily
Mandalorian.
call The Mandalorian an
Well,
instant
here,
classic.
no, no, no. Hear me out, because the first movie introduces a bunch of demons and stuff, and then they do a bunch of spin-offs about all of them. Then they all come back together for a second one, and then all of those get spin-offs, and then they come back, and then there are more spin-offs. So it kind of is like the Mandalorian, where it's like season one introduces a bunch of characters, then you get some spin-offs, then season two gets some characters. You get your dog is distracting in the back corner.
Do
Did my camera go out?
you see her looking like a freak?
Yeah, I see the tail going nuts.
Yeah, she's rubbing herself on the couch. My house is a mess.
Did she did,
Um,
did she just eat? Because that's what my dog does when he eats. Like he'll
no,
eat and then he'll be like, "Okay, it is time to make sure
she wants
everyone's
it.
aware of how happy I am."
No, she wants attention. She's
Oh,
itching her
okay.
booty.
Oh, okay.
She's like, "Hey, I have scratches that I need scratched. I'm gonna do that over here by
Yep.
myself since you people don't love me."
Yeah. One time. What? Never mind. But yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to. See, I'm not really looking forward to the Five Nights at Freddy's movie though, because it's like I think the only reason I watch it and the only reason I cover it for Beware of Spoilers is because it is day and date on Peacock, so you don't have to go to a theater to see it.
I Yeah, I'm curious if it'll be any good. I do think that the comparison will continually be made to Willy's Wonderland though.
I don't think
And
it.
like
See, I think the thing is, it's like I hear Blumhouse, and I'm like, that could either be the best movie I've ever seen, or it could be
Blumhouse.
awful.
What's Blumhouse?
Blumhouse is the production. It's a production company. They did like Invisible Man. They did. I think they did M3gan. Um, they
Oh, they also did Get Out,
yes.
Insidious,
They do.
Split.
They do both.
Split was excellent.
They do really good horror, and they do really shitty horror too.
Oh, Get Out is the one that I've been trying to remember what the name of it is, because that's one that I've been wanting to watch. I just
It
haven't
is
gotten around
so
to it.
good. Get Out is
Um,
so good.
I'm gonna put it on my list of things to watch.
Have you watched Guardians 3 yet?
I did.
Did you like it?
It was okay.
I did not. I know I'm in the minority on this. I did not like the animals that are Rocket's friends because it's so transparent what it is. I'm like, this is insulting to your intelligence. That it's like this is meant to be emotional points when they inevitably kill them off.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't watched it again though. I watched it in theaters that one time. Um,
Um, um,
so I'm getting old.
I don't really want to hear about it because I've been having grays for I don't know, since the last how old am I? Just over the last like
29.
I wasn't saying for you to say it out loud.
What did I say? We're the same
That
age,
was
so
rude. That
what?
was so rude. And
I'm
also,
sorry.
you don't know. You're older than me.
Yeah, by what? A few months.
No,
I thought you were.
no.
See, you've been going back and forth with like that was just a noise, not a question. I don't know what is a question and what's not a question.
Just assume none of them are questions.
Okay.
Um,
Especially if it's
um,
posed like a question with a question mark at the end. That's definitely not a question.
6 years now
Okay.
is how long I've been having grays. I started graying kind of early. I'm getting a stripe up here in my on the top left hand side of my head.
Uh, yeah, I
And then
have.
end up with the rogue strip.
Well, that's not bad.
It's gonna be a little funny in my curly hair.
Just dye all your hair white.
I was thinking about it, but it's kind of expensive. And then it's expensive to kind of keep up on it, and it's not very good for your hair, but I am considering it.
Like I would say, like for a guy, I think if they were really concerned, it's like just let it. Like I think for a guy, you can just go white and no one's really gonna give you shit for it.
I don't think you need to go white when you're a guy because the salt and pepper look usually looks nice unless your gray comes in funny.
Hmm. Well, also, as long as you've known me, I've had a receding hairline. Like
Right.
that's been the
I was gonna
that was
say,
one of the first comments that you made to me when we met over a decade ago was like, "Oh wow, your hairline's receding," and I'm like, "I appreciate
I did
the."
not.
Well, no,
You're just
okay.
making shit
I
up.
I rephrased it because the exact phrasing I'm not going to say on the podcast. I'll text it to you, but I'm not going to
What did
say
I
it.
say?
Um,
I don't believe you. Whatever it was, I'd never comment on your hair. I'd just say,
yes.
"Oh man, I can see you got a big old forehead up there." Um, you are right though that it's probably gonna be 50-50. Because like Insidious isn't very good. I don't think at least. It's not my thing.
I just
Um,
texted you what you told me.
I did not.
100%. I feel like
No,
if
I didn't.
yes, you did.
No, I didn't. You're just making that shit
How,
up.
that is not something I would make up. Anyway, but yeah,
Yes, it is. You make up terrible things all the time.
I did I did get a haircut. Thank you for noticing.
You're welcome.
I just decided to just give up the pretense.
You what you do is you hide your hair. I can't ever tell what your hair looks like because of your
Okay.
background.
Well,
So
the other thing
sorry
is
I
it
didn't see.
receded back to like here, like
Yeah.
full basis, so I just like fuck it, I just got rid of it. So
Yeah. You should do the straight razor stuff.
oh no, I don't
Just go straight up bald.
I got yeah, I'll get rid of the eyebrows too, like that guy on Barry.
No, you don't have to do that. Just get rid of the all of it. And
See, that was the thing. It's like some guys at work do that, where it's just they're just completely bald, but they keep the beard,
yeah,
and I'm like, that's not a bad look. Um,
no.
so I was considering that. So like, I still have some hair, but it's not a lot. But
Yeah, but you
cause
got to let your barber choose where to chop that off and start
yeah,
buzzing. If you don't want to have your
yeah, you don't want to have it
sideburns
like that one guy in that
high.
picture who's got the one loop like this around his head.
Yeah.
That's
You don't
just
want your sideburns up too high and you don't want your sideburns down too low. So
right.
you got to figure out where that is. And the
Yeah,
barber will do that.
I go to a place called Head Cutters where I get a different person every time, and the
Head
lady,
cutters and they just like chop your heads off
yeah.
all day.
See, that's the thing. It's like you would think that'd be a weird name. It's like an off-brand Supercuts, like where it's like if you think Supercuts is the cheap option,
You need to go
and
to a real barber.
yeah, that costs money though. This cost me $30.
A real barber is going to be about the same.
Yeah, but
You so when you're going to a place like the Supercuts or your off-brand head cuts, you're paying women's prices, and women's prices are more expensive.
oh no, I
It's
know
gonna be
my mom complains about that endlessly.
yeah, it's expensive. Um, if I want my hair cut well, I can't get it done for under $75, and that's before tip, before they add any treatments I want to do, before anything I need to pick up. Like, yeah, like
You
that's the
want to know what
minimum.
you want to know what's ridiculous? That's still $25 cheaper than it is for the dog to get his haircut. Max's
Not at the
haircut
end of it all, but
Max's
um,
haircut is $100.
wow.
Yeah.
See, you should just go to the barber, get it done really nicely, just get it done the once so they can tell you where the lines are supposed to
And then
be.
keep them myself and not worry about it.
Yeah.
I've been intending to do that, but again, like this pay period was the first time I had spending money
So you
since
spent it
April.
immediately?
Well, I there were things I needed to do, like I had to fix the payment
Oh.
on what's it called? I had to fix the payment on Zoom so we can have this conversation at length about haircuts and not be forced into going immediately into the topic. I had to pay a few other bills, and then I had money left. So I was like, let me get a haircut, let me get an oil change, because I was like 1,000 miles over on the oil change anyway. Um, and then I did. I bought the new DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Um,
Oh.
because that is that comes out in like a little under a month. Um,
Is it?
yeah. Did you play Scarlet or Violet, the new Pokemon
No.
games? They are janky
I
as fuck.
played I played Sword or Shield, whichever one.
Did you play through till you got to the DLC area at the end, or
Yeah,
did you like playing in the DLC area?
it's fine.
Oh, okay, because the new game is entirely laid out like the DLC area. You can go wherever you want, do whatever you want, catch Pokemon in the open world. Like
DLC area. So I got the two DLC areas. I got the one that was
a
I got the
tundra
two
area.
islands.
Yeah, one's like a tundra area, and one is a like an island where it's like not tropical, but it's kind of there's a dojo on the island with a
Yeah, where
mountain.
you can where you help the deer reunite with its weird guy that sits on him.
Yeah, like
Horse
there.
horse and deer friend.
Yeah, there. The entire game is laid out kind of like that, where it's the entire world is open. Though you can do whatever you want,
Oh.
but it's janky as fuck. Like
Hmm.
if someone is like just far enough out of range, their frame rate looks really weird. It's kind of funny actually.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I bought the DLC for the new one. That was $35. And I bought a new thing for my laptop for at home. Because Starfield's coming out, and I'm gonna play Starfield, and that will
Mm-hmm.
fry my laptop if I do not get a fan for it.
Oh. My laptop can just barely run it.
Your laptop can run Starfield.
Yeah.
Yes, I think
It just barely meets the specs.
mine will probably be in that same place where it's like it barely meets it, but that's all I need
Yeah.
as long as it runs
Um,
it.
I think we're gonna be buying a new desktop soon.
Like a gaming PC.
We have one right now, and it's probably around when we got it. It was like a 6 grand laptop. It's lasted about not laptop, computer. It's
Hmm.
been probably close to maybe 9 to 10 years old now.
Hmm.
So we're hoping to be able to get another one that'll last like another like 10 or so years
Do you want to
and
close the
be around
window
the
that is
three
putting
grand
light
mark.
directly on your face and you're squinting into the light?
It is closed.
Oh, okay.
I just don't have a curtain on that one.
Oh, okay. I just say you look like you're squinting into the light.
That's how I like to look. It's just
Oh,
my
okay.
face.
Okay. Well, I can't make out any facial features anymore because it's just pure white. But yeah, so I pre-downloaded Starfield because
You did.
if you have Game Pass for PC, you can download it.
It's coming out when I am on vacation.
Ah, which is the
So
5th to the 6th, I think.
5th or the 6th, yeah, I start my vacation on the 6th and I will not be available.
Yeah, I do. What's it called? Which actually brings me to a question I have for you. Is it okay if we table some of the video game discussions um for a little bit because my video game playing schedule for the back half of this year is kind of packed
Yeah.
because I have Starfield, I have the DLC for Pokemon, I have probably Spider-Man 2. I have what was the other Super Mario Wonder, the new Super Mario game that looks really cool. The Super Mario RPG port, Detective Pikachu. Um, it's just kind of packed up. So and I know you don't have time to play video games either. So I'll just rework the schedule.
Right.
So we'll move the video games back a little bit.
The only thing I'm still kind of playing, and it's because of the ease of the portability, and I can like boot it up and play it for like 20 minutes before I go to bed, is the Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, see that
I
my
still
Switch is
haven't finished
broken.
it.
My issue is my Switch is broken.
Oh,
My game card reader is shot. It only plays two games. It plays Pokemon Violet and it plays the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Link game, whatever that's called.
download it.
Yeah, I'm not paying for the game twice.
Oh, because you have the card. Go
I have the
return it.
cartridge.
Go return the cartridge and buy it and download it.
Well, no, once you open it, you can't return it.
What?
Yeah, once you open a video game, you. Oh, have we not talked about this? My
What do you mean? Not
experience.
return, but like not return, but like
Trade it in.
go trade it in and get some cash.
Yeah, I'm not gonna I don't want to trade it in for $30 and then still have to pay another 20 on top of that.
Then sell it.
I don't know. I'm just see. My thing is, I'm waiting for the announcement of what the next Switch is gonna look like because the rumor is next year we're getting a new Switch. Nintendo is releasing a new Switch next year. So my thing is, if I just wait and play these games when they come out, like and just from here on out go digital, when the new Switch comes out, I'll just get a new Switch.
Hmm.
Like I'll just get whatever the new one is. Because the other option was go out and get the what's it called? Go out and get the OLED now.
Hmm.
Because I have like my Switch is my I still have it right here. It's my base. Oh, well, you can't see because of the background,
Yeah,
but
because you're always blocking out your background. Oh, hi.
there it is.
Oh, I can kind of see it.
It's the base model. It's the base model
Oh,
that I
mine's
got.
the base too.
Like I got it
Um,
the week it came out back in
I
2018,
got it like a
2017.
month or two after. Um,
But someone spilled soda on it while I was playing a game, and this is the kind of story you think you'd stop hearing once you're almost 30, but no, people will still find a way to pour drinks into your fucking game consoles.
see, you say that, and you also make it sound like it was me.
Oh no, no, no. I, maybe you're just defensive because no,
I'm
it,
offensive,
it,
defensive.
defensive. That's what I said defensive,
No, you
but
said offensive.
I
You
don't
you
think I
called me offensive.
see. But
You
the thing
said,
is,
"Damn girl, you offensive."
that's not
I'm
what I
sick of
said.
your shit.
I said maybe you're just being defensive because that is not at all what I was implying. And the person who did it was my mom. Like I was sitting on the couch and she knocked over a soda onto both me and the console. But the more important thing was the console because I can change my clothes. She like the console is, and it worked for a few months. But I guess it got into the card reader, and now the card reader doesn't work except for two games.
Mm.
And then you gotta sit there and negotiate with it. You gotta like turn it off, take the card out, turn it back on, then have it read there's no card, then turn it off again, put the new
Tell her to
card
buy
in,
you
turn
a
it.
new one.
Oh no, I'm not gonna do that.
No?
It wasn't. It's not like she did it on purpose. It's not like she walked over and like dumped it on me. Like it was like she bumped into it when she was putting a book down, and it's like, all right, well,
Just be like, Mama, this is what I want for Christmas.
nah. I'm gonna get my own when I get when the new one comes out.
Uh,
So at this point, it's like it's under a year. So why don't I just wait for the new one, then get the new one? Especially if it's backward compatible. If it's not backward compatible, I'll splurge and get the OLED before that.
hmm.
But if it's backward compatible, I'm not gonna rush out and get something. Um, One final thing before we get into the topic of this week's episode. Did you see today's opening night live at Gamescom, which is Europe's big video game convention?
No.
Um, okay, you didn't let me finish. So
You asked if I saw something that happened today, and I didn't.
yeah, but, okay. Well, either way, are you
What do you
familiar?
need me to say? Oh my
You cut
goodness.
me off before I could finish what I was saying.
You asked a question and I
I was
answered.
on the
I'm
fly
catching a lot of flack today. I told you I'm not feeling well.
I was on the
Oh my
fly
goodness.
adjusting my question when you cut me off. Are you familiar with the man, the myth, the god, Zack Snyder?
Sure.
Do you know who Zack Snyder is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Um,
the Schneider cut.
you watched that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for
I
the loss of
fell
your time.
asleep. I watched it on an airplane, so I don't feel like too bad. Like in too
That's
much
true. Because
time
what else are you
wasted.
doing?
Yeah.
I watched that and I was like, this is the
And how
thing that's
many
meant.
times can you watch Mad Max Fury Road? Like,
He didn't direct Mad Max Fury Road.
I know. I'm just saying that's my usually go-to
Oh, okay.
for travel.
I was gonna say. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay. But yeah, I'm sorry for the loss of your time. I watched it, and then they put out the black and white version, and I was like, I don't need to watch a 4 hour alternate cut of this movie.
In
Um,
black and white.
but allegedly he went to Lucasfilm while Disney was in the process of buying Lucasfilm, or right before when he heard there was a rumor that Lucas was going to do Episode 7. Because that's the thing
Okay.
that we kind of forget about when we talk about the state of the sequel trilogy is that um, before Disney acquired Lucasfilm, George Lucas was in the process of getting together a script and funding for his own version of Episode 7. Um, Snyder hears this, and look, more power to him. Like, if you grew up watching Star Wars and you had that kind of cachet that you can get a meeting with the head of Lucasfilm, like, and you want to pitch a Star Wars movie, more power to you. So he goes
Mm-hmm.
in. At this point, he's coming off of 300 and Watchmen would be the two movies he's coming off of. This is during the time that Man of Steel is in production. So it's like 2012, right before the acquisition. And he goes in and pitches a movie to Lucasfilm. It's an R-rated movie set far apart from the main Star Wars universe. It's going to be its own thing, kind of a Visions kind of story kind of thing. So he pitches that. They tell him to fuck off. And then Disney buys them, and then Disney does a sequel trilogy. Um, and I will commend him for this. He did not take that as defeat. He now has taken that movie and has now made it at Netflix without Star Wars ties.
Oh.
It's called Rebel Moon. It comes out in December. Um, and the trailer came out today. And
Hmm.
I watched this trailer, and maybe it is the fact that I don't like. By all accounts, Zack Snyder's a really nice guy. I've never heard anyone say something bad about Zack Snyder as a person. What I do know is that he likes to stoke his little cult that he's got. Um, in the same way that like Ari Aster likes to do that.
Oh,
And
okay.
like he every decision he makes seems designed to push that. Like in this movie, Charlie Hunnam, from Vikings, I think, blonde guy, he was a popular fan cast for Green Arrow in the movies. In this movie, he's in this movie that Zack Snyder's making in a green like hoodie kind of thing, like a green hooded outfit with a bow and arrow. And I see
Mm-hmm.
that and I'm like, I see what you're doing. I get it. I understand it. I don't agree with this idea. This is designed to stoke a fan base. And this movie, I look at this movie and I'm like, oh, so you're taking Star Wars and mixing it with Dune and mixing it with all of these other science fiction movies that are doing things better, and I'm not 100% on board. Again, I appreciate that he put his money where his mouth is. Like, I appreciate that, like, he said, look, if I could make this movie, it would be really good. You know, Lucasfilm wouldn't let me do it with Star Wars. Fuck them. I'm going to do it on my own. I appreciate that because without that attitude, we don't have Star Wars, period. Because Star Wars started when George Lucas went into Fox and pitched a Buck Rogers movie,
Mm-hmm.
and they told him no, we're not going to let you use that IP. So he's like, all right, I'll do my own then, and then we got Star Wars. So more power to him, but there's the immediate red flag that Netflix announces that there is going to be director's cuts of both parts of this movie. It's part one in December, part two in April. They're releasing these movies with director's cuts, to which I asked, why the fuck did you hire Zack Snyder, a notoriously long-winded filmmaker, and curtail how long his movie could be?
Yeah, that seems a little silly.
Because it's like, because the big problem with Justice League is not the fact that they had to cut it down to 2 hours. The problem with Justice League and bringing in Joss Whedon is the fact that he brought in a script for Justice League that's 4 hours long, and they were like, go ahead, shoot all of this. That's the problem with Justice League. They should have said to him before they even went into production, you got to cut this shit down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at no point should you bring a script that long and that be the production script of the movie. It's absurd.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
but it's like with this, I'm like, if he's going into it and he's doing a two-part movie and inherently both parts get a director's cut, you are fundamentally misunderstanding the appeal of Zack Snyder as a filmmaker. I think people who want to watch Zack Snyder's movies want to have these long movies that take their time to get places and get the. And it's like if you're not going to let him do that, then what's the point?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I'm just I'm just over it. I still haven't watched Army of the Dead, um, which is his zombie movie he did for Netflix. And it's like the way they're talking in it, I'm like, oh, you're doing the same kind of theme as Dune. So it's really not that original then. This big original idea you had that's never been done in Star Wars. It's like, well, No, because they pulled from Dune for Star Wars, but like they didn't go this specific with the plot.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And there are lightsabers in the movie too. There are literal lightsabers in the movie.
What movie?
Rebel Moon.
Oh.
Like there are
Um,
characters with red lightsabers. I'm like, I don't think we need any of this.
what do we have today? A movie or
No, today we're talking about Heir to the Empire.
Heir to the Empire? Okay.
Now, it cannot be understated how important this movie is for Star Wars as a franchise, or this book is for Star Wars as a franchise.
Did I just ask if we have a movie and then you said no?
Yeah, 'cause it's a book. I
Oh,
fucked up.
sorry. Okay. I was like, that was rude.
No, I fucked up.
Um,
My bad.
okay.
We cannot
So
understand
again,
how.
still rude.
I
Um,
didn't. I wasn't rude. I was very clearly not rude for a change.
Heir to the Empire book. Let's see. Just getting some.
Um, it came out in '91, which I think this was the book that established Star Wars as a franchise outside of the original trilogy.
Hmm.
It established Star Wars' power beyond just these are three really good movies that people like.
Oh, Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn. This
Yes,
is his third trilogy that we'll be talking about, correct?
this is the second trilogy that we've done so far.
Second trilogy. Okay. And this is the one.
So look, there are a few ones that came out before about Han Solo and all of that, but this was meant as a direct sequel to the original trilogy that continued the story and it set in motion that the Star Wars universe continued on beyond that. On top of
Yeah.
that, this was the one that proved financial viability for the franchise beyond just these are the movies that we liked back in the day. This is '91. It established Coruscant for the first time in canon. It established Kashyyyk for the first time in canon. Well, no, Kashyyyk was established in the holiday
This is
special.
not canon anymore, correct?
No, it is not.
Okay, because this is when like Han Solo and Princess Leia they're married, they're pregnant.
Yes.
Okay. And has Princess Leia gone into her training as a Jedi person yet?
Yes, I believe so. I think Luke is training her kind of lightly. But they have to stop because it is what's it called? Um, because she's pregnant.
Okay.
Because she's pregnant and gives birth over the course of this trilogy,
Okay.
and that's to Jason and Jaina. But the reason why I picked it to do this week is because this was the debut of Thrawn, who is the bad guy in Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
So, search engine optimization.
To be honest, it's been a while since um I have read or listened to this one. Um, does he stroke Thrawn's ego nearly as hard as the last trilogy that we covered?
No, because the thing with Thrawn in this is that Thrawn is written correctly, um, where things are laid out, and Thrawn is he never feels like he's always in control, yet he's never the one who is making the first move.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's always like throwing off the back foot, so to say, but he's still in control the entire time
Mm-hmm.
because he can look at the permutations of what's happening, look at how they're going to act, and be like, okay, so because of that, I know to do X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
Um, and to that end, like this movie does, I'm sorry, I keep going on the movie because you know why I keep doing that because there's a movie coming out for Heir to the Empire in a few years.
Oh,
Um,
pretty cool. But how are they going to do Heir to the Empire as a movie when they've destroyed all that
because
information as canon?
that's the movie that is going to wrap up the Mandalorian timeline, the one that
Okay.
Filoni's making.
Oh, okay. So it's not really going to have
No,
Luke and Leia and Solo.
No, it's gonna be a loose adaptation of it, but it's gonna be the same kind of thing where it's like this is gonna be the bridge into the First Order to explain all of that.
I know that this is supposed to be the best trilogy of the best Thrawn trilogy.
I would say it's the best trilogy in the expanded universe. Not
Oh,
just best
really?
Thrawn. I would say, well, what's better?
Um, well, I don't know. It's been a while since I've listened to this one.
Because
But
I
I
do
do
really like
have one that I
X-Wing, but
like. You said in the expanded universe, right?
right.
Um, I know you asked me. I'm not as good about like pulling it from memory the way you are. I have to like review my library.
Right.
Um,
And if I do that, it's just Dune, 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 Dune. Fuck is text Dune?
um, 'Cause I know if I start saying the one that I think I like the best,
I'm gonna mock
um,
you.
so no, I don't know if you're gonna know
Actually,
which one I'm talking
you
about.
might do Dark
It's the
Bane.
ones I would, I'd put that up pretty high, and then I would also put up the one where they go and they deal with the bug people.
The Bug People.
Yeah.
Which one's that?
See, I thought that's what you had asked. I don't think that it's
Oh, look at this. He needs to know the title of the trilogy.
I don't think it's Fate of the Jedi. It might be.
Fate of the Jedi. Is that after?
Um, what the heck are they called? Star Wars and Bug People.
I do like the Han Solo ones that were pretty good too. There were three Han Solo. Oh, Fate of the Jedi. I found it. Fate of the Jedi. Um,
Oh,
I
and it's like on the tip of my tongue. They're called like there's something like with
Outcast, Omen, Abyss,
cause
Backlash.
yeah. Um that but those are the ones with like the bug people where they take you into the hive, right? The hive mind bug people.
Oh, okay. The Wikipedia on this is lacking greatly.
But they take in a Jedi. Killick. The Killick.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna have to
Um
go into that and look at that. Um, but yeah, it's like
The Dark Nest trilogy is
Dark
quite
Nest.
good. Yes.
Dark Nest is okay. But yeah,
I really like that one.
we are talking about Heir of the Empire though, and I think that what this book does well is like Thrawn is a formidable villain.
Mm.
Um, and he feels like when we talk about I think we've talked about this before where it's like especially with like Bad Batch season 2. The idea that there's this idea in pop culture that Palpatine is this master genius to who's like a master strategist, and he has everything planned out. He knows what he's doing the entire way through, um, and all of that. But really, if you look at his plans in the movies, they are very much dependent on a lot of circumstances that are 100% out of his control.
Yeah. I don't know if I get the same vibe. Mm, and I think that the Palpatine book um kind of brings in a different light where they show um oh, I'm sorry, the Plagueis book.
Right.
I think that that brings in a different light to show how Palpatine just does things on a whim because he wants to, whenever he wants to. That he just happens to be following up with Plagueis's plan, and Plagueis was the mastermind. He just happened to be more strong in the Force to be able to defeat him physically.
See, but like the thing is, it's like in the movies, specifically if we use the context of the movies, because let's be honest, by and large, people don't read the books. Like the general Star Wars fan
But
who
are we
is
talking to the general Star Wars fan? Or are we
well, no, but
talking?
I'm just saying that like the general Star Wars fan off the street, the one who shows up to see the movies and that's it, they Plagueis is not Plagueis. Palpatine is portrayed as a master strategist. If you read the other books, he's not. But if you do that, and to an extent, the Bad Batch season 2 backs that up. Like his whole plan is he wants to get rid of the clones and do a conscripted army, and the plan doesn't go his way, and then you get him turn it and be like, well, I could still make this work and still get the outcome I want.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that comes from that book, and that is kind of where they lay out how that, I'm sorry, I just had a brain fart. I don't know what I was saying.
I'm
Um,
sorry. That's okay.
it has
Is this
been
a
a very
book that
long
you
day.
like?
I do really enjoy this book. I think this is probably this trilogy as a whole is probably my favorite. I love Mara Jade as a character. I think the loss of Mara Jade is the biggest loss
I
in
agree.
all of the expanded universe.
I agree.
Even if
Mara
they
Jade is
brought her back,
awesome.
even if they brought her back and she's not Luke's wife,
But if she's Palpatine's, right hand or whatever that is,
hand to the Emperor.
hand of the Emperor, and yeah, I don't know. She's a pretty cool character, but
Well,
I feel
that
like right
blonde
now
chick
they
in the Ahsoka
probably bring
trailer
her
could be
back,
the
and
analog.
you think so?
It
I
could
hope they
be.
don't ruin her character.
I don't know. I don't know how you see, because the thing is like there are so many like there are options for characters that could be an analog for that. Like theoretically, you could have it be Reva from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Could be that
Reva.
character, Reva, the black chick who was the Inquisitor.
Oh, okay.
Like because if her origin is she serves the Emperor and then defects, you could do that. Like I think that the least important aspect of Mara Jade's character is her ties to Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. That's a pretty big one, though. I mean, she's trained to hate him, and they have to like overcome and.
See, that's one thing that's interesting, but you can get around that. You can do that same thing with Ahsoka. You can do that
But
same
that's like a
thing.
pretty big twist that is pretty key to why we end up loving her as a
My
character.
my issue is to my other issue is because she's tied so inextricably to Luke Skywalker in the expanded universe. Ultimately, her role becomes to die to propel the plot
I guess so.
because she does end up dying in New Jedi Order. Anakin kills her. Was it
She has
Anakin?
plenty of stories
No,
where she's
Jason
on her
kills her.
own. Yeah, and Jason kills her.
Right, but her inevitable end is that she has to die to propel the plot forward for Luke, which I don't
Yeah.
like for the way the character is and the amount of autonomy that character has. To have her die in that way feels like a slap in the face.
Mm.
And if it was a male
Yeah, it is
character,
pretty abrupt. It
and it's
is
like,
pretty abrupt when it
and I
happens.
think if you extract her from Luke and you do like you can do this same thing
Yeah, because
with
her adventures are very cool. Her adventures of being a spy um, for Palpatine, and like some of the ones where she comes across, um, what the heck is that one where she comes across the group of clones that have like defected, and she doesn't care, and they become her people,
I don't
and
remember
they're
that.
her group. No,
Not
okay,
off the top of my head. But like I think for the sake of Ahsoka, like if Ahsoka is gonna be this book, which I have a feeling it will be, like or an approximation of what this book is, which is setting up where this goes for the end of Thrawn. Because I think that when we get to Filoni's movie, Filoni's
Filoni's
movie,
gonna have a movie. Who's
yeah,
Filoni?
Dave Filoni, the guy who did Rebels, The Clone Wars, and Mandalorian, and
Filoni. That just brings up felony. How do you spell?
Feloni.
Dave Filoni.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. He,
he's the big honcho when
so
it
he's
comes
having a
to.
movie?
Yeah, he's directing a movie. He's directing the movie that's ending the Mandalorian timeline stories.
Oh,
That one we talked
that's
about
cool.
before. Yeah, so he's directing that movie. And if his movie is wrapping up all of the stories of the timeline post Return of the Jedi, which is going to transition into the fall of the New Republic into the rise of the First Order, then if that's the case, that movie is The Last Command, which is the last book of this trilogy.
Oh.
And then
Hmm.
like where you have this giant conflict between like the Mandalorians, and you bring in all these other people from the New Republic and Ahsoka and all of that, and they're facing off against Thrawn and the remnants of the
So
Empire.
it's gonna be an end game?
Kind of, yes, but for all of the Disney Plus shows.
Oh.
Um, And
Hmm.
Wayland is in this.
What else has he done that's been interesting
Oh, he
and
did the
good?
Mandalorian, Book of Boba
Oh,
Fett.
he did
Yeah, Clone
Wars,
Wars,
Bad
Rebels,
Batch,
Bad
Boba
Batch.
Fett.
hmm
Okay, so I think it'll be good.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
he's
maybe, kind of, sort of.
he's done everything on Disney Plus for better or for worse.
Okay.
Like the episode where Ahsoka debuts
He
in
probably has
Man.
a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
Dave
I
Filoni
think he's like
net
seconding.
worth. What is
It's
his
like,
net worth?
no. Oh wow, Dave Filoni phone number.
He what?
No, it's like, oh wow, Dave Filoni phone number.
No, net worth. He's got a net worth of $4 million. So not as much as I thought.
Well, he's like kind of head of story. Like he's not John Favreau. John Favreau is like he wipes his ass with $100 bills, like that guy.
Who's
Like
John Favreau?
he's the guy who he's like the showrunner on The Mandalorian.
Oh,
But he directed Iron Man. He directed what else was there? Didn't he direct Elf? I think.
you're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, but so this book I think is like the reason why this works out for this week is because of how it ties to Ahsoka. And like, doesn't this book introduce the cloning facility on Wayland where
I don't
Thrawn is building his army?
I don't remember,
I think it is in this book.
but
I
I
don't
there
think it's
is
in
a
Dark Force Rising.
heavy um in the no longer canon books. What's that called? The expanded universe books.
It's called Legends. Legends is the
The
term
in
for
the
non-canon.
Okay, so in all the Legends books, there's a heavy uh like use or of cloning and stuff where they hint at it a lot, but then there's not really like a lot of it. It's just sometimes you see Luke and sometimes you see Palpatine and here and there.
See, that's the thing
Um
too. It's like when we talk about this entire trilogy in the original canon operates under a misunderstanding, not misunderstanding, but a lack of clarification about what the Clone Wars were. Because the only
mhm,
reference to the Clone Wars in the original trilogy is Leia's message to Obi-Wan. You served with my father in the Clone Wars. But beyond that, there's no explanation for what the Clone Wars actually are. And if you hear that, you think it's a fight with clones, not clones fighting a droid army and all of that. Like, what,
I
like,
guess
from.
so.
So this book operates under the assumption that what the Clone Wars are is there's this guy who is like a general who who uses cloning to create an army and then use that to try to take over the galaxy. And
Hmm.
that's what Obi-Wan was fighting with Bail Organa in. And then there's things like Outbound Flight is first referenced here. Outbound Flight being the what's it called? The thing that has the dreadnoughts that the
Mm-hmm.
Republic was using, but during that time frame, there's no the Republic doesn't have an army. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these things ended up being decanonized by the prequels. So I don't want to hear it if you're going to complain. Not from you in general. People who complain like, oh, they decanonized Heir of the Empire when Disney took over, and it's like, yeah, but Heir of the Empire had to be retconned in several times to fit into the continuity, based on Lucas just not wanting to acknowledge it properly.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's that kind of thing where it's like it's just silly.
Well, it's all silly,
Well, no, I mean the
but that's
complaining.
what we love about it.
I mean the
Oh,
complaining.
okay.
The complaining specifically is silly.
Oh, okay.
So,
But the light, but everything else is not.
well,
It's all
I'm,
a little silly.
well, yeah. Um, but yeah, I look at the. I think this is hands down the best book. I don't think there's a book that's better. Which brings us to our ranking. Um,
I heard a really good what if.
all right, what was it? Well, I bring up the rankings.
The what if that I heard that was very good was what if Darth Vader, instead of viewing his um mechanical body as a prison as he did, what if instead he embraced it? Because he's such an excellent and gifted mechanic. What if he had embraced it and made it his own?
That would be really cool. You could get a really interesting horror one shot
right?
with body horror of Vader. I'm annoyed you said that because that would have been a great thing to pitch as a comic.
Oh, sorry. You can cut it out.
No, I'm kidding. I don't have it in at Lucasfilm. They don't even send me the stuff early to watch. Like I'm watching Ahsoka at 9:30 tonight, like everyone else.
Like a
Um,
freaking pleb.
yeah.
Like
Um,
all us normies.
so do you have an issue with me putting it at the new number 5 above Kenobi, but below Return of the Jedi?
Nope.
Okay. But yeah, that would
Um,
have been like you could do a lot of really cool things with like
you know what? Disney can have somebody can have that one for free.
yeah,
Just make it for me
they're having a
because
lot
that
of
would be
problems with
really
money right
cool.
now. I mean, they deserve a little bit of free stuff.
Yeah.
But
Um,
yeah, like
as
you
long
could
as I get it and they do a good job and I get to see it, then they can have it for free.
oh my, could you
Um,
imagine if that was one of the Visions things where it's like a Visions episode where it's just Vader
yeah, it's gonna
slowly
happen
starts
now.
using his body to like that would be really cool.
Wouldn't that be super duper cool?
Yeah.
And like he could do something where his force suit actually ends up enhancing his abilities and stuff, or um, with either doing like it with the kyber crystals or doing something with like the dark magic of like the way they uh what's the cubes?
Holocrons.
Yeah, like a holocron sort of situation.
Or he makes out of Beskar so that way he's immune to lightsabers.
Yeah, or that. Or just makes it lighter and faster and stronger and force enhancing, and wouldn't that be freaking
Oh my
cool?
god! Like take one of the most feared bad guys in history and make
And
him
make
so
him
much scarier.
better. Yeah,
Like that
yeah,
that's a really good idea. Like
yeah.
that would be really cool for like a
Wouldn't
one
it?
shot. Like because they're doing like dark droids and stuff like that. That'd be a really cool comic or like a one off on Disney Plus. That's a comic
Mm-hmm.
though. That's like I could see that as an IDW comic, like they did that Tales from Vader's Castle thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was kind of like a horror anthology. Like that would be a really cool one. That's
But Vader's also funny, so like, would it have to be from the point of Darth Vader, and like that's who we follow, or do we have to follow like a group of rebels or something?
I think you do it where you do a group of rebels who have been who are being hunted by
They've
him
been
for some
real
reason.
bad.
Or
Sorry, I
like
thought that's where you were going.
no, or like you do
They've
the way
been
I do
real
it is
bad.
I do this as a what if for Rogue One.
A Reddit. What if
Where,
for Rogue
where
One?
Rogue One ends with them getting away with the plans, but
Hmm.
they end up crashing. Like the ship gets fucked up on the jump and they end up crashing. Vader follows
I
them
agree. I
and
agree. I totally think that it should be like on some remote backwoods ass planet or something.
he's just hunting them.
Yeah,
And it's
like the
just
Predator, like
they've
Darth Vader, the Predator.
and they've heard what he can do.
Yeah.
But you don't see him for most of it. You just
Mm-hmm.
see people dying in weird
He's
ways.
upgraded his suit. He's upgraded his suit. Yeah.
Like the more machine than man, it's like, well no, now
Yeah.
he's almost entirely machine.
Mm-hmm.
And like you just play with that sense of we don't know what's going on around us. We can't
But
see.
he can't become more machine than man because then he won't be able to use as much force power because it is linked to
Well, I'm not saying
his.
I'm not saying he like cuts off more of his body to put more robotic parts in.
Okay.
Like he's still that base, but like maybe his arm is more like Claw's arm in Black Panther,
Oh, okay.
where it's like it's got stuff built into it where you can do shit with it.
Yeah,
Like
that'd
that would
be
be
cool.
really cool. So, by the way, this is a public podcast, so if we see this on a newsstand next year at a comic book store, we are going to sue.
We are?
What, you don't want the
What if
money
it's
from
really good?
you don't want the money from it?
I mean,
Really good or really bad, we can get the money and the publicity for suing Lucasfilm.
oh, okay. I don't know.
I'm
But if it's
kidding.
really good, I guess I'd want maybe a big place shouldn't pick it up. Maybe a small people should pick it
Well,
up.
I think for this kind of thing, if Marvel were or if Disney were to do it, they would go
I
to
mean, like, all
IDW.
right, so if Disney did it, sure. Give me the money, Disney.
Well,
You've
because
got
the thing
enough
is,
money.
Disney still licenses Star Wars out. Disney licenses out um, Star Wars to. I
But
mean,
like
Marvel does most of the comics now.
I wouldn't sue like a small time person and
Well, no, you're
tell them
still
to give me the
Lucasfilm.
money.
You're still Lucasfilm. If it's
I know, but
licensed by
I
Lucasfilm.
guess in my brain I wasn't thinking that Disney would do it. I was thinking just some rando fun person would do it.
Oh no,
But I
that
guess
like
you're not allowed to do that anymore. So,
well, if a random person does it, then there's no money to be had.
yeah. So leave them alone.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So we will wrap up there for today with our threaten to sue, and our next episode will be. Let me look at
That's
the
Adam's threatened to sue.
yeah
I don't threaten to sue
our
people. That's
our
weird.
weekly segment. All right, so we're not going to do Squadrons next week because I don't have time to play that. We're going to do the Clone Wars movie. Which do you remember the Clone Wars movie?
The Clone Wars movie.
It came out in 2008. It was a theatrically released movie. Um, that was the backdoor pilot for Clone Wars, the TV show. It was the origin of Ahsoka as a
Oh,
character.
I have not watched it, but I
I
can
have.
do.
I have. Get
But
ready
I
for
could do.
disappointment. It is not a
Oh,
good movie. Get ready for
okay.
disappointment.
How do you,
Um,
okay.
yeah, it is. It's not great, but and then after that, we are into the Disney era
Nice.
of movies, and then we are almost out of movies. So then we're gonna do that. But then we got 5 movies after that. We have the sequel trilogy plus what's the other one? The sequel trilogy plus Rogue One and Solo. And then in terms of other live action stuff, we could do Caravan of Courage and the Ewok movie with Wilford Brimley, and the holiday special
Okay.
with B. Arthur dancing around the table in the
Okay.
cantina. Have you seen the holiday special?
No.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
Sweet. Good
Um,
night.
so on that note, have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, you too.